frustrated.
It is, but it's okay now. We're all here for you. You want to talk about it, or do we need a break?
No, I don't want to talk about it, Gary. No, I don't want to talk about it, Gary.
Why,
Yeah, hi
why, why talk
guys.
about it on a talk
PR
show?
Project.
Episode 87.
Well, you talk about it, Gary. You lead the
This
talk show.
podcast is going to sound fantastic.
Geraldo Rivera.
It's racist.
Sheesh. that is racist. Actually, of all the people we could have chose. What's up, everybody? This is PR Project, episode 87. My name is Aaron. I'm here along with my two esteemed co-hosts. Gary is a runner and Tommy runs. You may have heard of them from Instagram. We're here to talk about running and all things associated with that. So happy to have you. How are you guys doing?
I'm okay. I feel better than I ran this week. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Sometimes you perform, okay, but you feel great. So
yeah.
I respect it. I think it's better than the other way around, where it's like I feel like trash, but I was doing everything right. It's like, is that really a good thing?
Yeah, I'm definitely. The leg was giving me a little bit of issues, but I was still able to run okay. So I'm kind of keeping that positive mindset of sometimes the leg's not going to be 100%, but we're definitely getting there, better and better. So
nice. How many miles did you run this week?
I got up to 50. So I'm going to call that's second 50 in 3 weeks. So 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We're getting there.
Can't complain about that. You're on the right track.
Yeah.
And that's good. It's good. You've actually been able to get out to a few runs with us this week.
Yeah.
So it's cool to get some miles in with you. Like old time sake.
Yeah. Today felt like an old school long run. We had a pretty good group there.
Yeah, pretty solid turnout in Rochester, Michigan. And it was cool. It was a cool long run. It was a little warm. Tommy, turn your speakers off.
Yeah.
It was a little warm. It got a little warm. I don't even think it got warm. I think the fact that there was not a cloud in the sky is usually a good thing, but it's not really always the best thing for runners.
No, I think the Macomb Trail was nice though, because there was plenty of parts where there was clearly no shade. Mm-hmm. But when the shade was there,
clearly no shade. Super no shade.
But there was parts where the shade pretty much covered the whole trail when it was there. So we weren't like having to run on one side and getting people's way like bikers and whatnot. So
I mean, unfortunately for me though, I think that like all of my work today was in direct sunlight. Every time it was shade, I was in the break.
In the break?
Yeah. I was in in the cool down. I mean the recovery, Like because I had a mile recovery. So I had 3x3. Yeah, 3x3. And it seemed like every time I would hit the shade, it was right when I was like in that mile recovery. Which is, I mean, I appreciated it, but then I think I might have appreciated like a little stretch, of some speed in the shade. I don't know.
Yeah, and the breeze was very rare. Like every now and then it hit, but it was not coming from any one direction. It was just like surprise.
It was just coming from all around.
But
it was weird because I got hit with like one piece of breeze that felt like air conditioning, and I'm just like, where did this come from?
Yeah,
but that was like in the last interval. It was over.
I mean, that's the only bad part about like a shaded or a semi like, because if we ran a little earlier or way later in the day, then you probably would have had a ton of shade, But like the time we ran is kind of like you had to just take it for what it is. But it's like, like, and the only problem with like being in a tree lined area like that, you're not gonna get too much breeze like ever, really, unless you're just in like a wind tunnel type of energy.
Yeah. And you guys be blowing in your face the whole time and pushing you back.
Yeah.
You know that, did you guys notice there's that factory, like that cement factory, something going on? A whole bunch of trucks there.
Mm-hmm.
All times I ran past, supervisor is on the phone to somebody, like something was going on. I wasn't sure what it was, but she was very frustrated, and she is on the phone, multiple people. Just, I kind of want to stop and just, what's going on? Can I help you guys out? You guys seem frustrated here.
That was definitely an emergency because there's no reason for them to be out there on a Sunday, the day before a holiday. Like, no, she did not want to be out there. She wanted to be at home.
Yeah,
She was upset for sure.
yeah. And if you have a temporary tank with holding whatever, with a truck and a hose attached to it, that's something's not good.
Bad news.
Yeah.
Bad news bears, I say.
The workers probably was dogging it. They like, look, this is overtime for me. I don't care. Extra money for the family.
Yeah, and we're gonna keep it till tomorrow because I bet you if they have to work tomorrow, it's double overtime.
Yeah, holiday pay and all of that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you say they got to be getting some sweet overtime right now, right? You
I
think?
would assume so. Sunday work. Yeah.
Especially if they're union. Oh yeah,
Right.
they getting broke off.
They're putting in a pool. They're putting in a pool for Christmas for sure.
But yeah, so what is it, episode number 87?
Yeah.
The fellas are here. We're talking about all things running. If you are in the chat and you want us to talk about anything or have any questions for us, please let us know right away so we can get to talk about that. Guys, like I want to talk about, so we had this, like in Michigan, we had this like little piece of like decent weather for training. Like it almost felt like fall was upon us, but then Michigan weather said no and decided to just continue with the onslaught of like 80 to 90 degree days. How much do you think that like weather like today, even though it wasn't super hot, you know, it wasn't like 80 or 90 degrees, but the sun was very in the sky and it was maybe 70 something while we were out there. Like how much do you try to take that into consideration while you're in like longer intervals? Because the shorter intervals is kind of easy to kind of push through, but like how do you manage, or like what do you think about it like when it's happening? Okay, are you saying like, okay, it's okay to be slower, right, in this because of the heat or blah blah, or is it hard to slow down so you just continue at the pace and you suffer? What do you guys do?
I think you guys are obviously in a different position than I am because I'm not training for anything right now. But I think if you're this far into marathon training for a fall marathon, I would hope that you'd almost be accustomed to it by now, because it was a hot summer. You know, no matter what time you went, like even going out early in the morning wasn't always guaranteed to have a cool temperatures. So I think this late in the day, yeah, it might be a bit of a struggle, but everybody's bringing hydration. It looks like, you know, everybody's been running all summer long. You know, I know you guys had some tough workouts, but I don't think the heat should have been as much of an issue this late in the process than it would have been 2 months ago.
I'll let you talk, Aaron.
So the thing is, what's up, chat? The thing is, I don't think we've been doing much like marathon stuff as far as like longer distance, like longer efforts of substance. So it is a little tricky. 400, 800, those kind of, even Ks, they're more manageable when the weather is hotter. But I feel like the longer the intervals get, the trickier they get when it comes to managing effort and just understanding like how the heat affects you over a long period of time. And I am not too good at like pulling back. Like I'm not good at like saying, okay, I should be here, but since it is warm, I'm okay with being 10 seconds or 15 seconds slower.
Right.
I haven't reached that level of maturity in my training yet. So I'm still working on it. And I know it's a thing, but sometimes I feel like, do I want to give myself that crutch or do I just want to like push through it? So
yeah,
today was one of those days where I'm just like, I'm gonna do the pace and I'm gonna push through it. And if I end up like Friday on the sidewalk, then it just is what it is. But I don't try to take that into every workout. But this was like my first extended like goal pace workout that I've had in the training block. So I wanted to make a good first impression.
Yeah, so me too. Like I think that like I said the shorter intervals are a little easier to get through, and some like a lot of times you'll talk to like people that do like track and field or like the shorter distance races, like they like that it's hot. They like that they're already kind of warmed up and ready to go. You know, like it's okay for them because they just don't have a ton of time to overheat. But then even when you're getting to like 8x1Ks and stuff like that, where it's just you're out there for a long time, I think it just starts to add up. And yeah, like I just didn't. Today wasn't even that hot, but towards the last, I did a 3x3, so like I literally saw Aaron and Josh standing in some shade, Gary. Like they were like in the only shade that I've seen in like 20 minutes, seemed like. But they were just standing in some shade. I was about to finish my second mile of the last interval, and I'm like, just form. I'm just trying to think of all things to just continue to push forward. And then as soon as I got to him, like it's like someone pulled the rug from under me. I was like, oh, all right, I'm sitting with you. I'm standing with you guys for a minute. Because there's like I couldn't run past them for like the life of me. So I'm like, I'm standing in the shade for a minute, kind of gathered myself a little bit, and then got back into when they started their cool down, I got back into it and finished out that mile and then the next mile fairly strong. But it was still like it wasn't like it was like pretend hot. It was like it was hot today. I mean, I don't know what it was. Like some people like it. I'm not normally into like not liking it. Like I'm okay with it, but today was a couple of days so far. It's been like okay, I'm kind of over this. I can't wait till it's like 45, 50 degrees.
Well, beautiful that you mentioned that because I was looking at the weather app,
For
and
where?
there's a lot of green here, which would indicate that we are looking at some cooler temperatures coming in next week for sure. Starting with tomorrow is only a high of 70 degrees, which is very nice. So
Yeah.
we are entering marathon season. Tommy, you are 28 days out from the Berlin Marathon. That's kind of crazy. I am 6 weeks. So I believe that's, if my math serves me correctly, that would be 42 days out from race day. So
I don't know.
42 days out from race day from a certain race somewhere in America. So yeah.
Wait, we ain't talked about the fact that you're running
I think we did. I think we told the people. I'm pretty
I
sure.
think everybody know you're running
That one race.
the Pittsburgh race.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in the Midwest.
Somewhere in a swing state. I don't know. No.
Is that a swing state? No, I don't think it's
No.
I think that's pretty locked. I think that might be locked in. Yeah. I think we talked about it.
Yeah, we did. I said it on the show, but I just haven't said it on social media yet.
Oh, no one on social media comes over here. Aaron. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm running the other major after Berlin. Let's just say that.
How many majors will that be? Two.
Two.
How many majors you got, Gary? Three. And then so you need all the.
I don't have anything. I have
you need all the
international. Yeah.
He needs his marathon passport stamp.
We gotta get you a passport. But you don't have a passport?
I haven't. It has not been renewed in 10 years, maybe.
Man, that's
Gary,
you know what?
So much that he doesn't renew his passport.
You know what that means, Gary?
It
You know how I take that? It means is I smell BS. No, I think that it means that you're telling the universe something. You're telling the universe that you don't want to go overseas or anywhere. You don't want to leave the States. That's what you're telling the universe.
Don't worry, Gary. I've had this since COVID and I still haven't used it.
But I mean, the universe knows Aaron wants to go though.
Maybe.
Do I?
Oh,
I know I need to get it renewed. I just haven't had a chance to. It hasn't been a top priority yet, but we'll get it there.
Gary,
Gary, I bet you get that passport. I bet you like within a month after you get that passport, you get an opportunity to go out of the States.
Canada?
No, so Steve, like wait, do you have an enhanced enhanced driver's license at least, Gary?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not just complete something.
Landlocked.
No. homebound.
Yeah. So let's talk about, so like 4 weeks out. You guys are my coach right now. Okay, both of you are my coaches. So 4 weeks out, this is all imaginary at the moment. So 4 weeks out, everything's going pretty good. I'm into like that, the kind of the thick of things the last 2 weeks before like we get to taper. So you're still doing some big workouts. There's some very crucial things that are happening within the next couple of weeks. What I'm feeling good though, but I'm also having that thing where it's like I'm not really sure like if I can hold this pace for marathon because everything's difficult. I feel strong, but it's just like while I'm in the interval, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm in my tempo. I'm like, I don't know how I could do this for 26 miles. What do you say to me?
I would say your race isn't today, so you shouldn't be worried about running 26 miles at your race pace today because your race isn't today. So it's okay for you to feel that way. That's normal. There is fitness to be gained over the next 4 weeks. And they also say your fitness tends to lag behind by a few weeks. So it's not like the workout you did yesterday is going to translate into fitness tomorrow. You know, it takes time for your body to adjust and adapt. So just continue to do the work, continue to be diligent in recovery, continue to not do stupid things like, adding miles that you don't have on your schedule or moving runs around or adding other strenuous activity to your schedule for the next 4 weeks. Just try to nail what you have on the schedule as best you can. And then, like Steve just said, trust the process because there's no extra credit. You just got to do the work that's in front of you.
I think you also need to keep in mind that one of the advantages that you have is that you've run this course before.
Mm-hmm.
So you can visualize not only the parts where, you're going to move fast, but visualize parts that maybe gave you some problems last year, how to overcome that. And that's what I like about sometimes repeating races is visualizing the course and finding ways to get past parts that maybe give me anxiety. So I don't know if they have, I'm sure most marathons do, if they have like one of those, what do they call course? What was I want? Course previews on
like the flyby type of vibe.
Yeah, on YouTube. But now's time where I'd start to go through that. Especially again since you've already been through this race before.
Okay, thank you guys.
Don't think, just run. We don't pay you to think. We pay you to run.
Okay.
But also, right. I found this interesting too, or this is like a hack that I tend to use sometimes. What would you tell somebody if they asked you that same question? Because a lot of times we ask the question, but we don't think about our own answer to the question. So, figure out the advice you would give somebody because you've been through this process multiple times as a multiple-time marathoner, as a someone that's already ran Berlin. So if somebody was coming to you with in their first time running Berlin and they said, "Hey, Tommy, do you got any tips for me? You got any advice for me?" Tell yourself the same thing you would tell them because we all need a little pick me up sometimes, and a lot of times we tend to overlook our own advice, which is weird, but I do it all the time. Like I'll tell somebody something and I'll be like, you know what? Wow, I needed to hear that.
Right, bro. Like literally talking to hear himself talk. Like, all right, dang, I gave some good advice to me and that person today. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, it's definitely one of those things where, because like whenever someone's down and out, like, or you kind of talk to yourself crazy, and you're like, you wouldn't say that to anybody else if they were going through the same thing. You would tell them this, blah blah blah, and all these nice things, and then when it comes to ourselves, like, yeah, I like that for sure. So I probably should do that more often, like while I'm racing or running, like literally telling myself, like, if someone was like riding in the car next to me or something like that, like handing me, they would definitely be saying like, relax your shoulders and da da da, like kind of coaching your way through it, or you're fine, you're looking good, like you're strong, all that stuff. So basically, if you're next to me in any race coming up and I start yelling things that someone would yell from the crowd, just know that I'm talking to myself and you if you want, but it's just for me.
So Tommy at mile 27, or sorry, 24.
If
I'm
it, hey,
almost
you
there.
talking about
I'm
New York?
almost there.
You said mile 27. You talk about the end of New York. Where
Yes.
I will definitely be yelling, I'm almost there, after it's already over. Yeah. So mile 24, staying clear, it's probably gonna get crazy.
As it should.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
it should. Let's see. Y'all want to give away shoes or y'all want to wait? I think we can give away
No,
shoes.
like I think you want to give away shoes right now?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. All right. So what I'll do is I'll just have to swing the camera around because as people can see, maybe they can't see. I'm
All
on
right.
a different,
It's
I'm on a
fine.
different setup. So let's see what we got.
So
Let's
while
give
we
away some shoes.
give away a pair of Puma DV8 Nitro 3s,
These are them. These are they.
Gary, you ran in these shoes today for
I
12
did.
miles. How did you
I
feel
did.
about that?
These are great. I wore these because I didn't want to wear like a traditional super shoe, but I didn't want to wear also a traditional trainer. I just wanted to have something that gave me a little bit more oomph, as the kids say.
Is that what they say?
Right?
Right? No.
I think they would have said the shoes that got a little more riz, a little more
Yeah,
aura.
or like something.
W aura.
I mean, the shoes are good looking, but I don't need Riz. I just need oomph.
No, I think actually now that you said that, you might need some Riz. Yeah, for sure. Let's. Anybody got some Riz for sale on like eBay or something? All right, keep going.
No, but like they're one of my favorite. It's my favorite shoe of the summer. One of my favorite shoes of the summer for sure. Because even though I wasn't feeling great at the beginning of the run, I was able to pick up fairly easily once I kind of got my second wind and picked it up no problem. They're a fast shoe. They're good for. It's a good utility shoe, I guess is the proper term to use. You can use them for almost anything.
You
And I
can
think
put them.
hopefully those who have already gotten the shoe through these giveaways have begun to realize that as well. Because we want to hear about them. Let us
Yeah,
know. If you already
yeah,
got the shoe through the giveaway, tag us. Let us know. We want to hear all about it.
yeah. We want to know if you like them, if you love them. Yeah, super post it, super tag us because we'd love to share that. And I mean, because they are like that's like if we've all seen giveaways and stuff like that, but it's cool that I mean, because they could have said, okay, yeah, we're gonna give away something else because they have other shoes that are like less, like air quotes, less than this shoe. Like when it comes to like performance and the tech that they put behind it. So they could have gone with like a cheaper shoe just to give away this many of them, but they went with the ones that they know that will help people out in these weeks leading up to marathons or even like the weeks after. So tap in, let us know how you like them because we sure as heck do.
Sure as heck.
Look like the kids say.
Sure as heck fire.
Heck fire. All right, so how do I switch the camera though in this thing? That's the problem.
You might be on your own with that one, champ.
Yeah. All
I
right,
think we
so
gotta maybe just
yeah, I'm gonna switch it over. Hold on.
Yeah.
All right. So can you guys see it?
Yep.
All right. Here we go. We spinning. They spinning.
Big money, no whammy.
Oh, Kathleen Bailey almost won. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Kathy Yang, you are a winner of the Puma DV8 Nitro 3. Puma DV8 Nitro 3. You are the winner, Kathy Yang.
Awesome.
Hopefully my mom isn't watching, like, because right when you're like you see your name about to pop up and you know you're about to do it. Oh, it's going slow enough. I should be about to win, and then just fry with that last tick over.
Cooked.
Sorry, Kathleen. Sorry, Kathleen. All right, so what? I mean, it's for a professional setting. I don't,
No.
R.I.P. homie. Yeah. So okay. Look. So what's y'all next week look like? What are you focusing on? Because obviously, a lot of us are like, Berlin, Chicago, New York, or something in this range. There's still time to like make sure that your marathon day feels as good as possible. Like not really, but there's like things that you could focus on to potentially like close out this training block well if you have 4, 6 to 8 weeks left. What are y'all focusing on to like finish? Even Gary, just pretend you're running a marathon. What are you
Well,
what are you
I'm the
focusing on to
same.
finish this off? You know,
My kids are going back to school tomorrow. I don't know. I think yours are too, Tommy.
they already went back last week.
Do
Yeah,
they? Yeah, my kids are going back tomorrow. So it kind of gives me a little bit more time to focus on the strength training that I haven't had a chance to. I had some good strength training weeks this summer. Life gets in the way, but now that with kids going back to school, I can kind of get back into that and get my leg right and kind of recommit to getting stronger and stronger come marathon training season, which will be for the spring for me.
yeah. What about you, Aaron? Like, what are you focusing on like right now to kind of like tie this thing off with a bow? Obviously, hit the workouts, hit the runs, but like, what else can you doing outside?
Just trying to prioritize sleep, trying to make sure I'm getting to bed at a decent time. Trying not to fall victim to my cravings, because when you in the thick of marathon training, you want to just like eat all the foods that you like and not the foods that you need. So trying to focus on that, but also just focusing on, I know it's kind of like a running thing, but just staying present. I know people's favorite question to ask you when they know you're preparing for a marathon is like, are you ready? Are you ready? And I'm just like, no, but I'll be ready when I need to be ready. I'm not ready right now, but I'll be ready on the day. That's the goal. Like, the goal is not to be ready right now. It's to be ready when you get to that start line and you lace up and you go out there and do the thing. So just staying present, staying in the moment, and not allowing outside factors to put a hamper on what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, I like that. Like, I'm not ready right now. Like, I'll be ready, but also it's like you don't want to be ready for 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
Right.
You really don't. I just think that's too much. I mean, even if it doesn't do anything like physically, like you just stay where you are, just like the anxiety, like I don't want to be already there. I want to still be kind of working to it because, I just want to put that last finishing touch, on the whole training block by running a good race and running smart. And I think so right now, what I'm doing for me is like trying to focus, like hone in the sleep thing, and get as much sleep as possible. And then like I'm listening to like audiobooks and stuff like that that are all about like the sports psychology and mindfulness and stuff like that, just because we put our bodies through so much of training, obviously mental too, because you are going through a lot when it comes to like putting up all the miles and doing all the things you don't want to do. But we're about to ask our bodies to do this crazy, insane task, run 26.2 miles. Some of us are going after PRs. So you're asking your body to do everything, but do no like mental work to like make sure that, when because sometimes the wheels will fall off. And if you're prepared for it the right way and you're in the right mindset or mind state, really not even mindset, but you're in the right mind state, you can push through those moments. We've done it. We've all done it in some way. We've all pushed through a moment of like, well, I didn't think I was going to be able to finish that race, but you finished faster than you did before. But we are about to ask our bodies to do all these things, but we don't necessarily do like that work to make sure that our minds are ready to pair with what we've done,
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. That's a good point. And it's something that I, for one, do not focus on as much as I probably should, is the mental aspect of it. It's the physically I'm ready to go, but what happens when mile 19, mile 16 hits and
hmm
maybe you didn't hit the split that you thought you're going to, how do you recover? What do you need to do to kind of get back in the right frame of mind, knowing that you've trained to cover the 26.2 miles at this pace, but you got thrown off. How do you recover, mentally?
What are some, okay, yeah. So like while we're there, like what are some things that maybe you've done wrong or have done well when it comes to those moments, or that you've observed and you want to work on, that what came to those moments where you felt like this isn't going well or something to that effect? We've all had those moments, whether it's in the beginning or the end. But like, what are you trying to work on, or that you've tried that's worked for you recently? That's like, okay, this is how I move through these like bad moments. If I'm asking that right.
For me, I've done some racing, and I've done some what I would consider successful racing so far this summer.
Mhm.
And a lot of it is just getting out of my own head a bit. There's times where things don't go my way, and I kind of pull the ripcord too early. I just go like, I'm slowing down. This race is not the race. But it's like, no, like stay in it. Don't relegate the race to a failure before you actually fail. Like don't, and also don't welcome the thoughts of it being difficult until it actually is difficult. Like don't make it difficult in your mind before it is difficult on your body. Because I've had a problem with that too, where it's like I get to mile 15 or 16 in a marathon, and I'm thinking like, okay, here it is. But it's like, no, it's not. It doesn't have to be right here if you don't want it to be right here. Like you could talk yourself into making it seem like it's worse than it really is. So just trying to stay like on the positive side of things, and also checking in with your body and making sure that you actually feel the way that you think you're feeling, rather than thinking the way, like, thinking your way into the feeling.
Yeah, I think it's you said a lot. Like every time you said something like like now I can't. So like there's moments where you so there's moments where you are feeling like everything is falling apart, but it doesn't help to then like consign that to then make a rash decision, based on that moment. Like the whole, like I brought up before, when Des said no big no big decision should be made on the hill, like, and she was literally talking about this uphill, like, so just you're gonna feel like trash. But in those like crazy moments, like we make these decisions like today's not the day, like right then, almost right then, like, because it just hits us, we're not expecting it, it's only mile 12, I shouldn't feel like this, I did, you start judging and you're snowballing into this weird moment, and then you make the decision, today's not my day, when maybe all it took was just, I'm not sure what's happening right now, but what I can do is just keep running for a little while longer, or slow down just a tiny, tiny bit. Like we joke about, like when we first ran, I was gonna run to this light pole and then this light pole. But I've heard professionals in races say that they saw them they were like, this is not it. But they saw something up ahead, like I'm gonna go to that person or to that sign and then see where I'm at. Because if you change it to like, okay, we have another goal that maybe isn't 20 miles away or 6 miles away still, you might be able to like kickstart some type of like clarity. Because there's this thing I was reading where it's like, um, you have to create or mind the space between stimulus and response, because a lot of times there is no space. So it's like something happens and we respond and we declare it as such. But there's like moments where you should be like the watcher of like what's happening, and something happens and you watch it, you see it, there's some space to be made, you have some time to think, and then you respond like accordingly. But in running, it's just really hard to do. Like if you're at that point where you think you're redlining, the space between them both is not.
I think I mentioned to you guys on Wednesday when all three of us were doing our separate workouts. It seems, especially because I'm not in what I call fit shape right now, I'm in the middle of these 10x400s, and I'm like, you know what? I gave it my best effort. At the end of the day, it's an effort based. I'm not hitting my times. And then you look at your watch, and you're like, no, you're fine. Like your legs are moving fine. It's just your head, so maybe it's a matter of just taking a deep breath, seeing where you're really at, and then continuing on. And the other point that you brought up was that's what helped me get through the last parts of this previous Eugene marathon. So along that path, there are just a ton of lampposts. So I would think to myself, okay, 5 more lampposts, and then maybe you'll take a walk break. Well, you got here. There's a few more lampposts. I was literally counting lampposts through the area by the marsh before, like where you think you're going to see the stadium, but you don't.
Yeah.
It was just nothing but counting lampposts just to get me to the finish line for this this last marathon. So well, you're right. Like every little trick you can do it. Pull all the tricks out of your bag, you know, to kind of mentally put yourself back to where you need to be.
Right.
Yeah. It's like you don't always have to deploy the rescue team. Like you don't always have to call in troops. You know, like sometimes you just gotta like manage it and just like let it be a controlled fire for a bit and say, okay, no, we're not gonna send the boys in yet. We're gonna wait. Because I don't sometimes at the first sign of trouble, I'm dialing 911 and I'm trying to get better at not doing that. You know, like
It's like it's a judgment thing too, where it's like it's for me it's a judgment thing. Like it's like I immediately start judging, the situation. Like it's mile 8 in a marathon that I trained for 3 months, and I did all these miles and I posted all this stuff about how I was going to do this and this, and then all of a sudden it's like it's not supposed to be this difficult at mile 8. I mean, it really isn't. It shouldn't be, right? Like regardless whatever you say, it should not be this difficult. But the problem is it is, or the fact is it is at this moment. So then how do you get past that without like judging it so terribly that you can't even think straight? And then you just, then you start saying like, well, I mean, my pinky was hurting, I had this thing happen, what I'm saying?
A hangnail got loose and I was I couldn't quite.
Listen, if you got a hangnail, a bad one, in a marathon and you like hit it on something, I mean that might be an excuse that you could take. I wouldn't be mad at it,
And you might say, mercury is in Gatorade.
Yo, look at this one. Look at this one. So he said Clayton, a Sega Dreamcast, amazing name. Clayton Young counts to 200 when he's fighting. I kept playing a song in my head to distract and energize me. I want to try that, counting to 100. I'm sure that I would never make it, and maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the point, that you just don't make it because you just distract your mind long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think that's like 88, and then like forget that I'm counting. I just forget, like, oh, I'm supposed to be counting. Shoot,
200 is such a random number. Like you're right, because it's just
far enough away.
Yeah.
Y'all ever get to like a number and then be like, and then start counting, you move on to the next tens or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you realize like, did I just say 90 something twice? Like, did I just go back to the 90s?
I do that on a run. Did I just
actually
do 10 miles or did I just do 12?
Oh no, Gary. You're on your own there.
But yeah, no, that's interesting because we do want to stay. I was trying to close it, my bad. We do want to stay present in the run, but also we don't want to obsess about the run, because there's a thin line. There's a thin line between checking in with your body and like saying, yeah, cool. I feel fine. A slight twinge in my hamstring, but I'm fine. Whatever. But I feel like sometimes you do get to a point in the race where you just gotta like I said, you gotta put your brain in low power mode, and you just gotta let your body do what you trained your body to do for the last 12 or 16 weeks. Like you got to get out the way, and like, because our brain is gonna want to tell us like, why are we still running? This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like your brain is there for like, your brain is there for protection. Like it's telling you stuff like, it's like, yo, you should stop. Like this is not good for us at the moment. Like we don't like this if you continue to do this for the next, because like apparently like your brain probably thinks you're about to be doing this for the next like until you pass out. So it's like, all right, we should just tell them everything's wrong. Like, so sometimes you just got to get through those moments, man.
And or like, you know what, this has been fun. Ha ha ha.
This is a funny joke, a really funny joke.
Your body's throwing your body's throwing all the signals. Your body's throwing all the signals it possibly can to get you to just like slow down, chill out. But man, that's why it's like really cool, because like it's all like life, marathon is life and all that stuff, and the marathon teaches you so many things. But it really does though, like good and bad. Like you learn, good or bad results, I guess, or like results that you don't want. Whether you learn something about yourself every time you go out there and run any distance, really that really pushes you. Whether that's a half marathon or 6 miles for some folks or 3 miles for some people, it's like once you get to that distance that's really kind of challenging you and you kind of figure it out, whether you did it the way you wanted to or not, we always learn something. And I think that that's like super dope.
Yeah, there's literally a new you on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Because we were at a 5K, 10K Thursday where we run 3-on-3 on this past Thursday, and one of the women that runs a lot on Tuesdays, but she's just recently gotten into running on Thursdays. She did the full route, and somehow she got back to the start point, and she was at like 6.8, and she was like, "This is my first 10K," and she's like, "I'm at 6.8. I might as well go to 7." And I'm like,
cool.
I can promise you that's a sentence that you never thought you'd say out loud. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
I'm at 6.8 miles. I've ran 6.8 miles. I might as well run the 7. Like, that to me was just like, it was so sweet because it's just like, this is proof that by simply doing this practice, by simply putting one foot in front of the other and telling yourself, I'm going to run, you're transforming yourself into a person that you didn't know you could be. And it's just like, it's crazy to watch from the outside because you don't really realize that's what's going on in the moment, but you're literally rebuilding yourself into a totally different person. And it's crazy.
That's a
And
good
it's
story.
and it's crazy that we don't see that in ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, like because there's no point that there's at no point that or I didn't for sure think that that I'd be running a half marathon, let alone like about to do like my 14th. You know, there's just no world where that was going to be the case. You know, and it's really cool. Like, and I think that like a lot of people that don't run, like I mean there's other sports that mimic that, like that any endurance sport kind of mimics that thing where it's like you really push past a lot of barriers to get it done, you know. But I just think that people are missing out that don't like run for some type of like exercise, mental health, anything, you know, because it's a lot here for sure.
You know what I just realized?
What'd you just realize?
We need a PR alert.
We do. Like, can you find out a jingle for us?
Yeah, I thought we had
Actually,
a bill.
Oh, didn't we have it one time? We did it one time.
We had a bill at some point.
wait a minute. You know, you just brought that up. We never talked about your PR.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, you slide dog.
That's what I was talking about.
Is that what the kids say? You slide dog.
The kids are that's what my kids say all the time.
We might have said that in the 1940s.
All right, so let me talk about this for a second. Okay, so this is the PR project, and what started this whole thing was that Aaron and I, and all of us really, were like every time it seemed like we were always training for something, but then we were always at that point in our lives training for PRs for everything, you know, because that's like the exciting thing to do when you're like, you know, kind of like a couple years in, right? Guys, focus. Take that off the screen. Delete that. All right, guys.
Actually, my kids do.
This is what they call brain rot.
Yeah.
Because none of these
All
words mean anything, bro.
Skibbity. Okay. Oh, Thomas, man, my son literally said, "Hey, Dad, I dare you to say skibbity."
Yeah.
And I was like, walk away from me, man. You gotta tell me what it means later. But okay, good. So I was gonna be mad at him if he was trying to have me say like a new fandangle like curse word or something. I'm just trying to use all the.
I was gonna be upset if you made me say new fandangles.
I'm trying to say all the old words that I know. Gee golly.
Man.
All right.
You're gonna have
So-
like 40 years old. You're like, break up the 1940s thesaurus.
right. And the Bengay. All right, focus. So we started this show because like we were always trying to get PRs. We want to talk about running and talk about shoes and all that stuff. So PR project literally is because we were always trying to go out to PRs. And one of the founding members of the PR project has literally been going at a record, a PR. I don't know. He's gone at it aggressively a couple of times, but like you haven't been like trying for 2 years. But anyway, so he's like, yeah, that's what you say. So Aaron went out on this race, and he said the day before he's going after a PR. He's trying to break 18. Now, please roll this out let us know what your PR was, your whole plan for the day, how it happened, and then how you felt afterwards. And did you or did you not go to Disneyland?
All right. So my PR was, and this is over 5 kilometers. My PR was 18:05. I set that PR in the summer of 2022 in Eugene at World Championships when we did the A6 5K. I was
Oh, that
I
was so the A6 5K in Eugene was your last PR in the 5K.
My last 5K PR was there. And I thought that there were better things to come that summer. Because I'm like, all right, 18:05, like 18 is coming down soon. It didn't. It just didn't. I didn't get a lot of good opportunities. A lot of the races I ran were really hot, or I was just not really ready to hilly, yeah, or I just wasn't ready at the moment. So I ran the Twilight 5000 with Tracksmith and Trials of Miles last month, and I ran 1840 in very harsh conditions. It was like 85 degrees. It was really hot. I thought that was going to be the day. I thought leading up to it, that was going to be the day, but then I saw that the weather wasn't conducive to it. So I'm just like, my goal at Twilight was just finish, just to not bail, not, succumb to the struggle of the heat and all of that. I'm just like, no, we're going to finish. We're going to kick hard, and we're going to prove out that I can withstand like the tough parts of a race. So that happened at Tracksmith. And then I told my coach, I said, I definitely want to take another crack at this 5K thing before the marathon, because I feel like I'm fit enough. The workouts are telling me that I can do it. It's just about the stars aligning and actually, putting it on paper. So the weather looked great for Run the 313, which is we run 313's annual 5K. So many people there. It was a race of like 700 participants signed up, something crazy like that, which is it for a local 5K. That's serious. Yeah. So I woke up that morning. I said, today is the day. Like, I pretty much told myself, like, I refuse to allow myself to not give myself a chance. Sometimes you get to a point in a race where it's like, it's no big deal. Like, it's not that serious. We just running for fun. I'm slowing down and I don't care. But today I'm like, nope. When it gets difficult at mile 2, 2.5, 2 3/4, 1.5, whenever it gets difficult, we're going to keep pushing. Like, we gonna go. And from the onset, I went out with a plan of sending it, like full send, like no excuses, like just go out there and do it. So I tied up my Puma DV8 Nitro Elite 3s, and and I told myself that, like I said, today was going to be today. So we got out. I got out right at pace, and I'm just like, hold it here. We're just going to hold it here. And it was smooth through the first mile. I'm like, okay, this is going well. There's a U-turn shortly after the first mile, which is not ideal in a 5K, but I'm like, just get in and out of turn and keep it going. So
how'd you tackle the turn?
So it was interesting because they had the U-turn on a cone, like they had the sign that says U-turn. It was on a cone, and then there were cones around it. But the people ahead of me were going around the outside of the cones. And the course, like, volunteer was there. And he's like, no, you go in front of the cones as long as you stay on the outside of the front cone that has the sign on it.
Yeah.
So I saw them going the wrong way. And I'm like, okay, I can do it the right way. So I did just swing out just a little bit. I didn't want to like hard pivot on my inside foot. I just wanted to try to round it, make it as round as possible. So rounded it, got in, got out, and then right back to pace. So long straightaway for like another 1.25 miles at that point. And it was cool because you're running against the rest of the race. So you see all the other people, and thankfully I'm pretty popular amongst our community. at We Run 313. So there was a lot of positive reinforcement. There was a lot of cheering and just like I heard my name a bunch of times, and I was super grateful for that. And I'm just like, all right, stay here. I saw some people out in the distance. I'm like, I probably can pick this person off. I probably can pick this person off. And slowly but surely they came back to me. I get to probably 2.25, and I'm just like, all right, here we are. Like this is where the decision has to be made. This is where you're gonna have to figure out if you really want this or not, because it got rough. As you know, the 5K is once it gets hard, once it gets difficult, there's no turning back. Like you're there.
Yeah.
You're there.
Once it gets hard, it's right there.
Yeah, it's over. It ain't no stopping until till the finish. So I go by the cheer squad. They got the water cups out. I'm like, bro, it's 5K. I need
Look at Gary's face.
I'm like, look, it's a 5K. I don't need water, bro. I'm good. So I come around the final right turn, and this guy passed me, and he like, come on, pump those arms, let's do it. And I'm like, you know what? That's a little freaky, but I'm gonna do it. So, so I just like channel my inner like Beatrice Chibit or like Faith Kipyegon. I'm just like, look, bro, just go. Like, make this terrible. Make this as terrible as it has to be. It doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter how it feels. You have 2 minutes to get from here to the finish.
Mm-hmm.
Get there. Like, stop thinking. Forget everything else. If you push it right here, you'll make it. So I rated it 1 through 10. So I get to the mile 3 mile marker. And in my mind, because in my warm-up, I wanted to visualize that last portion. So I ran through there. And I'm just like, all right, if I get right here and I'm at I said if I get here, I'm at 17, I'm golden. Because I can close a 245 seconds. I know I can do that, like no matter what. So I get to the marker, I look down at my watch, and I don't remember what it said. I don't even know what it said, but I told myself in my mind, you good, just go. So I just like pushed, I kicked as hard as I could, and by the time I could see the clock, it said like 17:33, and I'm just like, just don't fall. Just don't fall. As long as
high knees,
you'll be fine. And yeah, I crossed the line and it hurt. It was painful. My legs were burning, my chest was burning, but it was 17:46. So 19-second PR. And I felt like all of the work that I put in to get there was like validated at that point. Cause it's like, this is what you've been working for. You knew you were capable of it. You just had to do it. And I did it. And I felt amazing. Like I was just like overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed because it's been so long and it's been a goal of mine that I wanted to check off for a long time. So it felt great. I was super happy. I finished in 5th place. So it was just, it was a dream. It was a dream.
Everybody, yeah. Well, yeah. Here we go. We got Steve McCullough. He rang the bell, 3 bells for it. You deserve a bunch of cowbells and all that stuff. Right? Yeah. When I found out your time, I was super hyped because I mean, there we go. The clapper.
Yeah. Don't say yeah. We give Aaron the clap. I don't think that's not what we're.
Yeah. Because everybody, let's give Aaron the clap. I don't think that's where the direction we're going with this show at the moment, but. Congratulations, bro. I mean, because I know the 5K is just tough because it's just like how painful it is, like the whole time. Like, because the 5K is not like, just start off the first 2 miles easy and then just close out. Like, you literally, if you want a PR, you have to go out at the pace you're trying to get to or faster, and then just hold on.
Yeah.
Just hold on. So yeah, so congrats. And I know that and with a couple of those turns, that can be a tough course. So, so good job. And shout out to We Run 313 for an amazing event too. I wasn't able to make it, but I heard it was amazing. Saw it was amazing through the gram. And it's just dope that that's only the 2nd year. So big things coming hopefully next year for the squad. And also speaking of the squad, We have another PR to talk about. Joseph Robinson, I'm sorry, Joe Robinson, co-founder of We Run 313, ran a PR in
The
New York.
marathon.
New York. I was trying to think of the name
Oh.
of the thing, but I can't remember. But it's like
Sri
it's a name.
Chimnoy.
Street,
Shri.
yeah, Street Chimnoy, yeah. Marathon out in New York. He popped out and showed people what he had going on. He'd been putting up a lot of miles, doing a lot of training. He went to run this race prior to a certain said cutoff for a certain marathon in the spring. So he went and put down some solid work, ran a PR. He ran 2:57
And change.
and some change, low change, I think. Yeah, so he ran a 2:57 and some low change, and did it like with Berlin still in his sights because that's the race that he's going to be racing Berlin. So big shout out to Joe for going out there and laying down some heavy work, and grabbing a PR by I think like what 4 minutes.
4 minutes for sure.
4 minutes at least. So 4 minute PR in a marathon in the middle of a training block in the middle of high miles. Right back to it this next week. That's super impressive. So congrats to both of y'all for some big monumental runnings.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good. Good omens for your upcoming races for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and y'all want to see a shoe I got? I can't really talk too much about it because I only ran it one time. But you guys want to see the shoe I just got?
Let's
Yeah,
see
we're
it.
It's Puma related. So this is the Puma Fast RB. So it's technically like the Puma Fast R3. They made 1,000 of these and shipped them around the world. And I was lucky enough to get a pair delivered. And there's 3 plates. So the shoe is illegal. We've been seeing a lot of people talk about illegal shoes. The shoe is actually illegal because of the stack height. I think it's like 56 millimeters or something like this in the back and like 50 up front. And then there's 3 carbon plates, and you're only allowed to have one. So you're only allowed to for a shoe to be like race legal. It has to be under 40 millimeters of stack height, and then also it only can be 1 plate. This has 3 plates, one under this part here, and then one up in the middle, and then one throughout the shoe. So it's a lot going on here. This is not detachable, but it's not connected here, so it's all just spring. I ran in these. I liked them in the beginning. It was raining. I didn't like them in the rain. Not because of the traction, but I just feel like they just got to be, there's just a lot going on here, and they got a little heavier than I would like for them to have been that day. So I'm gonna try them out on a better day, on a day where we're just kind of running straight and fast, so I can kind of give you guys some feedback on those. I'm not sure what they're gonna do with them. I think it's like how Adidas did their, $500 shoe or whatever. These shoes are $375.
Hey, bring those back up for a second.
Okay.
Talk to me about the fit because there's no laces. So,
Oh, no laces on, my bad. The fit was perfect. People were talking about the heel counter. Like, I don't normally have a heel counter issue, so maybe I'm the wrong person to talk about it. But it fits perfectly. Like it's super comfortable. It feels like a sock on your foot. I think that they could actually make this. Well, maybe because there is no laces, they can't make this any thinner. But I think some of the weight in the shoe, outside of obviously all this foam, I think some of the weight in the shoe ends up being in the upper somehow, because it is a pretty like substantial upper. It's not like it's not flimsy at all. It's like all the rest of the shoes upper, but it just doesn't have laces. But it fits perfect. Like you slip it on, it doesn't move around much at all. I just didn't. I'm a light shoe guy. I've just realized that I'm a very light. I like lighter shoes. So these were a little heavier to begin with, but then it rained, and then I was like, we gotta take these things off. But I gotta try it again, like on a better day though, because you can't. I mean, you can't. You shouldn't at least rate a shoe or judge a shoe based on like one run, because you could hate a shoe for 20 miles, and then next thing you know, it's your favorite shoe in the world. So I'm gonna try them out again. But I think that I've always liked what Puma did. So Puma actually came out with the Fast R. This is the first one. it's like it's kind of similar, but much smaller of a shoe.
Mhm.
But they've always pushed the envelope, and they've been trying to, test things out and see how things work, and challenge the whole like concept of super shoes. But then they also come out with like the Puma DV8 Nitro Elite 3, you
Yeah.
know, like where it's more of a standard shoe, standard racing shoe. So they're always going to have that for the people that are just really trying to go. But then there's also going to be like this shoe that they're always going to be pushing and testing and trying to see what they can do. But look at the difference between these two though. Like the difference in like this is the first one,
Yeah.
and then this is the second one. This is the third one. I mean,
The second one,
This is
which
the-
you and I got at TLE
Yeah.
last year, I actually
This-
really like the second one. I think
this is the second one still, but
Yeah.
look at that though.
it's still quite a difference.
Still
The
so
second
much
one-
different.
You
second
versus
one's
the guy
pretty
she tells you
fast.
not to worry about.
Huh?
It's like you versus the guy she tells you not to worry about.
But the second ones are pretty fast. So once you get a chance to test out those number threes, you're curious to see what you think.
Yeah. So, shout out to Puma though. I mean, I like that they're like always try, like Mizuno too. Like they're always like trying to push something and try something new and try new geometries of shoes, and that's dope. That's dope. But Nike does it too. Like so you can see that with like the first and second Alpha Fly, but I think they probably should like, okay, let's get back to like the Alpha Fly 3s that you wore today. I mean, they are definitely more standard shoe,
Yeah, it's like they're wear testing their new concepts with the public rather than, because I'm sure Nike has crazy prototype shoes like that they don't make available to the public, but Puma and Adidas are kind of taking a route of like, no, we're gonna do limited runs of these shoes, and they're gonna be expensive, but it'll give us feedback outside of our normal, testing group.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool, and it also gives people a glimpse into the future of what running shoes can be, or marathon running shoes can be. So
Yeah.
And it's fun. I mean,
peel
it's
back
fun.
the curtain and give the public a look at it.
I mean, and they're super expensive, but I mean, like some people are just like some people like that. Some people are into that, and some people,
Some
it's
people
not
ain't
like, yeah,
You know,
and it's not like you need them. It's not like somebody's telling you like, it just is what it is, and I'm all right with that part.
You know what it's kind of like? It's kind of like, being in the Detroit area. It's kind of like at the auto show when they come out with like the
Concept
custom
cars, yeah.
design. Yeah. Like maybe a handful of people will get to drive them, maybe, but it's really just a lot of fun to test out. It's kind of like, I'm pretty sure a lot of that technology might not look like that shoe now, but it will be in future shoes.
Yeah, right.
Maybe 3 plates, I don't know, but who knows?
Yeah.
There's a surplus of carbon fiber plates out there, I guess.
Yes, apparently, because they got 3 of them in this boy. But yeah, man.
Yeah, the
All-
carbon fiber plates about to expire. They're like, go
Yeah,
put them
they
all.
I'm gonna put some spinners, some carbon fiber plate spinners. But yeah, man. No, so this was dope. I think we have like 3 more. How many? Do you know how many we have left, Gary? Is it 2
I
or
think
3?
we have one more.
Just one?
Yeah, the last episode, the last Summer Speed episode is next week.
We might have to give away 2 because I think we missed last week.
Oh, we did miss
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
So-
might have to give away 2 shoes next week.
Next week we're gonna give away 2 pairs of shoes to close out Summer Speed with Puma. Big shout out to Puma for tapping in for the longer term, for providing us the ability and opportunity to give away shoes that are really dope shoes. The Puma DV8 Nitro 3. We'll be closing out Summer Speed next week, but then hopefully we'll have some new news as opposed like when it comes to like what you can expect from that episode, hopefully, or at least something to follow that to kind of close out this whole Puma summer era for us. But yeah, shout out to the Puma team because they definitely showed up and gave us 12 awesome shoes.
Shout out to Usain Bolt.
Shout out to you, Shane, for setting the record. But all right, man. So I think we out of here. We gonna touch bases with y'all. What am I doing right now?
You went into corporate Tommy.
We're gonna touch bases. We're gonna circle back.
You're what they call vamping in show business.
What does that mean?
Wrap it up, buddy.
Oh,
Play the music.
sorry. Play the music. We should get music. We should definitely get a jingle. All right, guys. Peace out.
I'll come up with a jingle. I'll sing something.
I'd love that so much, Gary.
I know.
Absolutely.
You know, Gary
The
sings
world,
in
what the
very
world is
low,
waiting
low
for.
register.
Gary sings in a what?
A very low register. He's a bass. You might not know it by his speaking voice, but his singing voice is very low.
Gary's definitely a soprano.
It's
No.
more of an alto, but we'll get there. We'll talk about it later.
It's got range.